Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the O'Shea Duke Jackson main channel. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I do thank you all for being here. We had 13 um, people waiting in the chat. I do appreciate you there. Come in, like the video. We have a very, very, very special guest tonight. At least it's tonight, and where I am in Kampala, Uganda, and we had a brother earlier that was an African American living in Mombasa, Kenya, by the name of Amin Ra. And if you notice, there's always a brother in a shirt and tie and his avatar, Kobie Smith. And whenever we have a brother that's living in Africa, he'll always have a different experience in the chat in the comment section, and people are kind of going back and forth with him. But we wanted to talk about his experience. He lived in Africa for 6 years. He's a graduate of Morehouse College, and he has a very interesting company. He'll talk to us about that. And today's show is Black Americans Need to Stop Trying to Be African. But without further ado, let me introduce Kobie, the founder of www.blackамerican.com. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, O'Shea, what's good, man? I'm happy to be here, man. I'm real excited to be on the show, man. For real, for real. That's what's up.
All right, brother. I'm definitely glad to finally talk to you after seeing you in the chat, man. You know, me and you did have some back and forth in the chat, but it's all been good. You're very active and very intelligent subscriber. Let's talk a little bit about yourself, about who you are,
Right.
and what disagreements you had with the last show we were doing.
Well, first of all, before I get into the show and the disagreements that I had with Amin Ra, I want to be able to kind of educate the viewers on who I am and my background, because explaining to them the experience that I've had in West Africa is important for being able to establish my authority, if you will, as a voice, with this topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I understand that the brother Amin Ra, he was in West Africa for 20 some odd years, and that's what's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stayed there for 6 years. I'm a graduate of Morehouse College. I studied finance there. I went on after graduating in 2001 to work in the banking and finance industry for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a full service stockbroker or financial advisor, and then I also worked as a business banker or commercial lender. After the meltdown in the subprime mortgage industry back in 2008, 2009, I decided that I wanted to go on vacation, and because things are just too stressful at the job. So I left and I went to Ghana, West Africa, and I went and stayed there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I had an absolute ball, man. It was just so much fun, man. I was at Labadi Beach, and it was really a good time. And I met up with a couple of other Morehouse cats that were already there. So I was like, man, what are you guys doing here? And they told me that they were running gold mine operations. They were doing entrepreneurship within the gold mining space, but their companies were not really successful. They were not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to evaluate the company and found out what they were doing wrong. And then I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll go back to the United States. I'll quit my job at Morgan Stanley. See, I didn't want to work at Morgan Stanley anyway because of the economic climate. I was just ready to get out anyway. So having this new adventure of going to West Africa just seemed like it was going to be, a great opportunity for me. So I told him, no, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go. I'm going to quit my job, give all my stuff to my mom, and then boom, I'll be back in 6 months. Lo and behold, 6 months. From that time, I purchased a one-way ticket to West Africa, to Ghana, and then I stayed there for 6 years. As soon as I landed, one-way ticket.
Okay.
I got a one-way ticket. So, the message that I have for everybody who's watching, and for everybody who's going to watch this vlog, who call themselves Africans, these Black Americans who call themselves Africans who ain't never been to Africa, or these, Black Americans who call themselves Africans or whatever, whatever ideology they want to follow, understand that, I got a one-way ticket to Africa and I stayed there for 6 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I landed there, the thing that I realized when I did an evaluation of their company earlier was that the problem that they had was that they were outsourcing the management operations, their gold mining management operations, to the local Ghanaians. So they had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, money, gold, all that stuff. And then they were trusting the local Ghanaian population to manage it on their behalf. And so you already know what happened. They ran it down to the ground and they stole everything. So what I told them was, look, you let me manage the operations, and I will go to the bush. I will live there full time. And then I'll be able to call you, report what was going on the ground. And then that way you can have an intelligent American on the ground in the bush managing your gold mine operations, and you know everything is on the up and up. So that was my strategic advantage, if you will. That's how I added value to the company when I went there. So I went there and I stayed in the bush for the immediately when I landed, I went straight to the bush and I stayed there for 4 years straight. I was the only American within miles and miles and miles of the mining operation, and I became fluent in the local language, which is Tree, because I live with the Asante people, right?
Okay.
And long story short, I became a gold miner, and I built the operation into $1 million business. We made $100,000 a month. By the time I got my hands on it for operational purposes, and we built it from 1 excavator to 14 excavators. We had 100 seasonal workers and also 30 full-time employees. I have interfaced with politicians, chiefs, local chiefs, paramount chiefs. I've interfaced with police officers. I had a full life experience in Ghana, West Africa, and so I know what's going on the ground in terms of living there. The business collapsed back in starting around 2012, 2013, because of Chinese gold miners. They messed up a lot of stuff there. So we left, and then we went to Liberia, West Africa, and we set up a new operation. While I was in Liberia, I got married to a Mende girl. She's Mende Vi, right? And I built a house out there. I built an $85,000 crib in Liberia, West Africa. And then I also bought an acre of land out there. So not only do I own land currently in West Africa, not only did I build a house there, not only did I get married there, but my wife born a child there. So I just have a lot of experience on the continent. After Ebola broke out in 2014 in Liberia, then that was a wrap for me. None of my business partners were going to come back and deal with us anymore. So it was pretty much time for me to come back. My dad was sick. He eventually died. So I came back to where I currently live now in Alabama, and that's where I am now. So yeah, that's the short and skinny of my African experience. One thing that I will say is that the thing that I learned the most while I was there, or I would say that the thing that impacted me the most while I was there, is how much Africans love Black American people.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
It totally blew my mind to see how much Africans, Native Africans, love Black American people. And when I say that they love Black American people, what I'm saying is that they love you for who you are already. They don't love you for this messed up psychology that you have in your mind that you are African. If you sit up there and you start telling them that you're an African, man, they'll look at you confused. They'll be like, what are you talking about? They know Lil Wayne. They know P. Diddy. They know, Jay-Z. They know Beyonce. They know Muhammad Ali. They know Dr. Martin Luther King. They know our leaders and our preachers and our teachers. They know our freedom struggle. You know what I mean? they are so inspired by all that. So when they see a real Black American in the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they standing in the face of Jesus. And so the thing is that I have never met an African who wants to be in Africa. In my years, I have never met an African who wants to be an African.
Mm-hmm.
100%, O'Shea.
Mm-hmm.
100% of the Africans that I have met in Africa
Mm-hmm.
want to be American. Full stop.
Why do you think that they don't want to be African and they want to be American? What's your opinion on that?
Listen, first of all, when you talk about African countries, right? These countries are not poor. They're extremely rich. They're rich in mineral wealth, gold, diamond, bauxite, timber, manganese, cocoa, you name it. But there's only a small percentage of Africans who get the benefit from all that wealth. And those are the reigning political families that pretty much are the brokers, for the international investors who want to come in there and take those raw materials
Mm-hmm.
to export to their countries. And so the 1% get rich, but the remaining people of the countries remain poor. So you have a lot of brilliant people in West Africa. And one thing, I used to go mining. I remember I was in this mining town, right? And I was just walking down the street, pushing my excavators along. And there was this big, it was like a gathering, right? Of all these people together. It was a whole bunch of people. It was almost like a party. And as I looked at the banner that was on the party, above the party, it was like something to the effect of, association of unemployed Ghanaians. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so these people were doctors, they were lawyers, they were bankers, they were preachers, and they were teachers. They had master's degrees, PhDs, all these peoples at this gathering,
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't get jobs, right? Because there are no jobs, available. So let me ask you, Osei, what do you think? What was the main topic of that conversation that they had? You got all these educated people, brilliant
Mm-hmm.
people, they can't get jobs. When they met, what do you think they were talking about?
Getting the fuck out of there.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. The only thing they were talking about was how can we get out and go to America? Do you have any networks in America? What are your networks and all that stuff? And so whenever you go to the the U.S. embassy in Ghana is located in Accra. It's directly across the street from the African American Association of Ghana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I go to the U.S. embassy, it's always packed like a slave ship, like a slave ship. It's hot, it's musty in there, full of Ghanaians begging American immigration officers for the opportunity to take your place. They're begging. They can't wait to get out because they know that if they can just get out of Africa, they're going to run circles around you. So this is the problem that I have. If you're a Black American and you say you're an African, if you are a Black American and you call yourself an African American, putting Africa before the American, if you call yourself a Hotep, a Hebrew Israelite, a Moor, or a Native American, what you're doing is you're practicing escapism. For whatever reason, you have become disillusioned because of our experience in the United States of America. So you are so angry and you're so bitter about what happened to our people here that you decided, I'm not even American, so I'm not going to register to vote. I'm not American, so I'm not going to run for office. See that flag I got back up on the wall?
I see the flag.
That's an American flag. I'm not an American, so I'm not gonna go to these white folks' schools, these American schools, teaching this. I'm not an American, so I'm not gonna participate in commerce here because I need to go to Africa, my true homeland. So for every single solitary one of you Black Americans under the sound of my voice who are watching this show right now, who want to go to Africa, there's 10,000 Africans who want to take your place here in America. And they do it.
They're doing a really good job.
They're doing a great job. So when they come here, you know what they do? They naturalize as American citizens, and then they become police officers. You don't want to be 5-0. You don't believe you're not an American citizen. You don't want to protect your own community, right? The Africans will. And then they'll arrest you, O'Shea.
Yeah, and I heard they're asshole cops too. So you don't never want to run into an African cop, bro. That's like the worst.
In Houston, Texas, you're going to run into a whole bunch of Nigerian police officers who have naturalized as American citizens, and then they went straight to the police department because they get paid a lot of money. You can make 6 figures as a police officer, bro. You don't know. And then they join the Harris County Jail, right? So the jail, and then they go to college. They become lawyers, and then they become judges and prosecutors. Not only that, you don't want to run for office. They're voting in political office, and they're voting their own politicians in office. So these Africans are coming, and they're embracing your birthright because America is your birthright, O'Shea. This is your inheritance. America is the richest nation in the world, the most powerful nation in the world, and it's your inheritance, paid for in blood by your ancestors. Yet, you want to throw it away, turn your back on it to go to Africa, where Africans want what you got. So they come and they take your inheritance. And they become the judges, they become the prosecutors, they become the police officers, they become the bankers, they become the preachers, they become the teachers. They really create an infrastructure in cities where they lord over Black Americans who've turned their backs on their own communities. And so the problem that I have with Black Americans who call themselves African is that it's so destructive to us because let's just be real. Your boy Amin Ra was talking about how we need to leave the United States, and he used the words in mass. He said we need to leave in mass. Man, there's 40 million Black Americans in this country. What makes you think that 40 million Black Americans are going to leave the United States of America and go anywhere? Only a very small percentage of us even have passports.
Right.
So we're not going anywhere. This is our land. America is our land. America is our country, for better or for worse. The soil of this country is soaked with the blood and the tears of our ancestors, the bones of our ancestors. And so it would be a disservice to them for you to call yourself an African. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I'm going to tell you another reason why I don't call myself an African. Check me out. If you call yourself an African, O'Shea, then I just feel like you're a hypocrite. I feel like you swag jacking African culture just for the look of it, just so you can wear the dashiki and so you can chew on the stick and look cool, right? But let me ask you a question. Let's say you go take a DNA test, right? And it comes back that you are a Kenyan, right? And you're a member of one of the tribes in Kenya. What's one of the tribes in Kenya?
Like Kikuyu. It's the biggest one.
Okay, so let's say that it comes back that you are a member of the Kikuyu tribe, right? And so you feel like, oh yeah, I know my history now. I know my culture. I'm somebody. I know who I am now. I'm not lost like all these other Black Americans. I know who I am. And then you start identifying as a Kikuyu. Sometime later, you get married, you got a family, you got a home over there around Kikuyu people, and then a war pop off. Let me ask you, O'Shea, what you gonna do?
Going back? Hell no. I'm getting the fuck out of there.
You feel me?
Right.
Like, are you gonna fight for the Kikuyu people, your new tribe, or are you gonna go to the US Embassy, you're gonna get on that plane and you're gonna head back to Sacramento in time to catch, the damn Clippers play. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
you leaving.
Let me do this real quick, Kobie. We got 248 people, 51 in the chat. Not enough likes. Thank yous for the super chats. Technically, it's my birthday in Uganda, but thanks for all of the birthday wishes. I really thank you, brothers and sisters, for that. Get the likes up on the channel here real quick. And guys, to support the company of brother Kobie Smith, www.blackамerican.com. I'm gonna buy some stuff from his clothing company. It's not even a clothing company, man. It's an identity, right? And I'm really feeling it. So go to the first comment and check out a lot of his stuff. Black American hats, Black American shirts. I mean, really, I think it's a really, really, really great idea to be representing ourselves. I wish I had it. I would have brought it over here to Africa. So let me just say this, man. You mentioned a good point. And shout out to my brother Aaron Ferris in the building. You talked about before the show started, if you cannot make it in America, how can you make it in Africa? I thought that was very interesting. Can you expound on that?
Listen, brothers, again, I have a degree in finance from Morehouse College, and I have 10 years of banking and finance experience in this country. I worked as a business banker. And so it was my job to work very closely with entrepreneurs who were on many different levels of their of business, right? And then in 2008, 2009, I left the United States to become an entrepreneur myself in West Africa, where I worked full time as an entrepreneur in West Africa. And let me tell all these brothers and sisters who are listening today, get your head out of your behinds, if you will, because here's the reality. It takes you forever to get anything accomplished in Africa.
Brother, please say that again. They don't know. Please say it again. Tell them, brother. Tell them, please.
They don't know. They don't know. See, what they're doing is they're romanticizing Africa, but they don't understand the gridlock. They don't understand the poor customer service. They don't understand the lack of care and concern for time. The culture is.
Say that last part again. That time management, brother. Please say that.
Yeah, they don't understand how they just, West Africans, they just don't care about time. You know what I mean? So anything that takes us 5 minutes to do in the United States of America will take you 5 months to complete in West Africa. You will wait. The number one thing that you're going to hear is, I'm on the way coming. Yo, Charlie, I say, are they on the way coming? Okay? On the way coming means in the bed, my G. You know what I mean? So it's like in the United States of America, look, I created, I'm the co-founder of BlackAmerican.com. Everybody, I encourage everybody watching to go to the website, go to BlackAmerican.com. And when I created the company, I spent $11,000 on this site, right? Because there was a Jewish gentleman who owned the URL, and then I had to buy it from him, right? Because I believe that it's important for us as Black Americans to be able to own our own name, right? And to be able to control our image in mass media, right? So I purchased it, and I purchased it very quickly. I registered my company online, right? I found a photographer, models online. I found all of the gear, the sweaters, the hats, the shirts, all the getting the logos, all that stuff. It took me a year to build a company. I registered the logo online, the Black American logo. This logo right here, I registered it online at the USPTO website, right? And again, it's taking all of that was just online. It was just money, and it was just done real quick. No problem. No questions asked. I had the money. I registered, and it was it. I'm in business.
Mm-hmm.
Try that in Africa.
Brother. Please, brother. That is so true.
Try that in Africa. Now, first of all, let me get to you this.
Mm-hmm.
In Africa right now, this is the problem that I have, and that's why I'm a supporter of the ADOS movement. In Africa right now, in Ghana, how much do you think it costs for a Black American to create a fully owned Black American business? How much would you say?
In
How much
Ghana,
would you get? Yeah, in Ghana.
it's going to cost way more to do it in Ghana than it's going to cost in America, I would say. I don't know how much, but
just give me a ballpark figure.
If yours was 11, if you're talking about how much yours costs, how much did yours cost?
I'm talking about just to register. Like
register?
Business registration would cost me $100 or something like that.
Okay, you know well, after you get through paying all kind of bribes and shit. Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll tell you what. I heard in Liberia that a dude paid $10,000, and in 6 months still had a business license. So I'm estimating it anywhere from 5 to 20. Because what I've heard from Dr. Harnett on her podcast, I'm assuming it could be quite a bit with all the bribes and all the other stuff. Maybe Ghana might be a little less than that, but I don't know. What would you say?
My brother, the facts of the matter is, for you as a Black American to register a fully owned Black American business in Ghana, it's
a $250,000 now, right? $250,000, right?
No, $500,000.
That's right. Okay, you know what? I when you started saying that, that's when I knew, because at first it used to be a $250,000. Now it is $500,000 unless you're doing import or export.
Right. When I went there in 2009, it was $100,000. Yes. You had to have $100,000. And so again, I'm in the gold mining business. So when you have to bring over either $100,000 in cash, or you have to bring over cash equivalent, like the asset has to be $100,000. So I was importing Caterpillar excavators to Ghana from the United States. So the excavators cost $100,000. So therefore, I was in business. You see? Yeah. But what if you want to go over there and you want to start a barbershop, or you want to start a clothing line, or you want to you want to do something on the small business side? Ghana is not going to support small business investors. They just don't. They're only looking for big business. So that means that if you're a Black American, like your boy Amin Ra, who wants to go and start a business, you're going to have to be illegal. And you can listen to Amin Ra, you can tell his papers weren't tight. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to say that, man, but you can tell how he's being very defensive on that.
And I can hear it because I've been there. I know his papers weren't tight. So you can go over there and you can do illegal business. But see, the problem is when you get caught up with that illegal business, that's when the police and that's when politicians going to run your pockets, O'Shea. Right. So what I'm saying is that in order to be protected by the government, you got to be legal. Mm-hmm. And in order for you to do legal business in Ghana, you got to bring over $500,000. Now, true. If you're not going to do $500,000, you can do $250,000, but then you got to bring on a Ghanaian as a partner.
That's true.
Think about that. Now, can you imagine if these Africans who come to the United States of America, we tell them, yeah, you can come over here, you can start a business, but you got to give Black Americans 50% of your business. Can you imagine what they would say?
And they'll be like, fuck y'all.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we did the same things to them that they did that they do to us when we go over there? So exactly. Where's the Pan-Africanism in that? Let me give you another example. In West Africa, you have something called ECOWAS. You've heard of ECOWAS, right?
Yes, the West African kind of like agreements between countries and stuff like that.
Exactly. So basically, if you are born in West Africa, you get an ECOWAS passport, mm-hmm. meaning that, and it's done to encourage commerce between West African nations. Mm-hmm. So if you're born in Liberia, like my wife, you can leave Liberia, you can walk all the way from Liberia to Nigeria and just show your ECOWAS passport and you're good, right? No problem. You go straight through. As a Black American, you're going to have to get a visa before you enter each country.
That's true.
Now, I thought you was an African, O'Shea. I thought you was a West African. Why not? Why don't you have the freedom of travel in West Africa?
Because you're not African.
Thank you. You're not African. They're not gonna give you that respect to just travel, just like they do other Africans. When it comes to registering a business in Ghana, man, I think it's like 10,000 Ghana cedis. It's nothing. But for you, it's $500,000 US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is that this whole thing about Pan-Africanism has to go beyond uh, aesthetics. It has to go beyond the dashiki. It has to go beyond palm wine. It has to go beyond, the cute things like learning the language and wearing flip-flops and changing your name to Nana Kwesi Bonsu. Me did Nana Kwesi Bonsu. Your mommy, they told me, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Brothers want to sit up there and they want to swag jack the African, culture and the clothing and all that, but you don't have rights. Hey, look, I got an AR-15 here. I got a Glock 43. I got a 6-hour P320. Mm-hmm. I got a Monster 590. I got all kind of guns in my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a Second Amendment right to bear arms in the United States of America. Do you have that in Kampala?
No. You better not have a gun out here.
You better not.
They got guns, but you don't. You better not have one.
Thank you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They got guns, but you can't have one. But everywhere I go in the great state of Alabama, I got a gun on me. When I was in Ghana, there was a rapper. I forgot his name, but you could do research on it, right? Mm-hmm. He made a statement. He said that and all the Ghanaians in the chat room will know what I'm talking about. He made a statement. He said that the MPs of Ghana, they were all high on weed, like they were drug addicts. Do you know that they were going to jail that dude, and that he had to go on the floor of their Congress or whatever you call it and make a public apology to all those MPs and take his word back? Can you imagine that? Mm-hmm. So in Ghana, you don't have freedom of speech. You don't have the right to vote. You don't have the Second Amendment right. And then even if you try to do business, they're going to run your pockets in a nasty way. Mm-hmm. You don't have the travel. Where is the Pan-Africanism?
Right.
What tangibles do you have? What benefits, what privileges do you have, O'Shea, as a so-called African? I don't want to be an African in name only. I want benefits.
Right. So
you have those. Yeah. But let me ask you this
question. Yeah, go ahead.
Where do you have those benefits, O'Shea?
Where do I what now?
Where do you have all those benefits?
In the USA.
All right, thank you. Now I ask you a question.
Let me ask you this, brother. Because there are, and I hate to say this, and what I'm about to say is going to offend some people. Shout out to some of you African Americans that live in Ghana or that live, usually are in South Africa. But it's my opinion, man, that those people who live in Ghana that are African Americans, if they are not retired or receiving some pension, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I think these are some of the worst of Black people in America that end up in Ghana and they're over there bumming it out. That's just my opinion. I've never been there, but that's what I think. If I see an African living in somewhere, anywhere on the continent, I'm thinking, okay, if you're not over there working for a big corporation, you are bumming it for sure. I want to know, in your experience, being in Ghana for 6 years, what were the quality of African Americans that you were coming across?
The quality of, and I don't use that term African American. I use the term
Black American. I'm sorry. We'll use that one.
Make sure y'all represent blackAmerican.com. Go to the website, get some merch. Okay. But the thing is that you have two sets of Black Americans who are in Ghana. On the one hand, you have the retirees who are there.
Okay.
and who are receiving a pension.
Mm-hmm.
They're, 60 plus years old, and
Mm-hmm.
they are very intelligent and very accomplished people.
Right.
There's the African American Association of Ghana there, and it is located directly across the street from the U.S. Embassy. And these Black Americans are heavy hitters.
Mm-hmm.
They have degrees, they provide a lot to the economy,
Mm-hmm.
they create jobs. They
Mm-hmm.
are no different than the African immigrants who come to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, when you look at the mentality of any immigrant that goes to any country, they're always going to be high achievers. You don't just go to Africa on a whim. You know what I mean? You go there because you are hungry and you are trying to accomplish something. And so those Black Americans who are in Ghana, for the most part, you're going to see them actually hustling and doing great things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The employers, they're going to employ a lot of people. Just like my tree teacher, he's also my Morehouse brother. His name is Dr. Obedeli Kambon. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yes, the guy. He's very
Yes,
popular
him.
brother. Braids, dress, PhD from the University of Ghana.
That's my
Uh,
boy.
yeah,
That's my
yeah, very
dog.
very talented brother. Yes, he said he don't even respond to YouTube comments. You have to go to his site because he owns it and it's black. So he said if you want to talk to him, you got to go directly to a black owned site. Yeah, I heard of that brother before. Yes.
Obedeli is my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Black American. You can never call him a Black American though. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, he's not gonna take that.
Yeah, but he considers himself a pure African, and I support that brother because he's sold out for his African identity. He's totally sold out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing great things. You got a
Yeah.
lot of brothers like that who are young, like Obedeli Kambon,
Yes,
who
sir.
are out there doing great things. So you have those examples. But
Mm-hmm.
just like anything else, I mean, it's a mixed bag. Just like in the United States, how you have a lot of very high achieving Nigerians, and those Nigerians who go out and go to Harvard and Yale and Princeton and become PhDs and doctors and all that. But then you got your 419 cats. You know what I mean? It could be either way with them. And it's the same way in Ghana. Whenever you meet a Black American there, you're going to either meet someone who's a high achiever or someone who is on some bottom feeding scam artist stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I meet a lot of Black Americans who are disillusioned about America. And they had some crimes. They didn't graduate from high school. Their careers are not going well. They're looking for an excuse in life as to blame somebody for their failures.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what Pan-Africanism is all about. At the core of Pan-Africanism is fear of competition in America.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to compete in America because you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go to college and compete against that white boy. You don't want to start a business and compete against that white boy. You don't want to buy the land, compete against that white boy. So what's the easy way out, O'Shea? Man, I ain't American. I don't care. I just go to Africa. And you just go there and you just chill. But nowhere in Africa are you going to go. And this is why I dispute what Amin Ra said. Nowhere in Africa are you going to go where they're going to put you in the elite of their society.
That I agree with for sure.
Where you going to go, O'Shea? Anywhere in Africa where you're going to go, and then all of a sudden, because you are an intelligent brother, studying medicine, they're just going to throw you to the upper echelon of their society?
No, never.
You ain't never going to be Kikuyu. I don't care how hard you try.
Right.
You ain't never going to be Kikuyu.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, these Kikuyu who are in these unemployed college graduate associations, while you over here in Kenya trying to, swag jack their culture and trying to get in with them, man, they're going around your back and going to America. They're going to Sacramento and they putting up shop. So by the time you leave Kenya and you go back to Sacramento, they multimillionaires. So So I see Pan-Africanism as highly destructive on the mentality of Black American people who come from the richest, most powerful nation in the world. America is your birthright.
Mhm.
America is your inheritance. And everybody in the world wants to be there. It has not been easy for us, but our ancestors paid the price. They laid the foundation for us to finally be able to pick up where they dropped off and carry the torch for them. But for you to sit up here and say, I don't know who I am, I don't have an identity, I'm lost. This is the thing that you're going to hear a lot. A lot of things that the Pan Africans say. And I would say that this is the number one pet peeve that I have with Pan African. Every time I hear it, it makes me want to vomit. They'll say, I'm lost.
Mhm.
I don't know who I am. I don't have an identity. I don't have a culture. So therefore, I took a DNA test and it came back that I'm Elway. And so now I know who I am. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to be with my people. Look, bruh, it's a fraud. You're a fraud. You're playing games. Because even if you actually go back and you be with your so-called people, when it pop off, you're going to leave them. You're going to come right back home in time to catch, the NFL highlights on motherfucking, on So let's just go ahead and grow up. Let's be adults. And so the time that I was in West Africa, I became so what I realized is that as a Black American, I took my culture for granted. I took, sometimes you have to leave the country and then look at,
Yes,
you know,
I would
you know,
definitely agree with that.
and see, so I can't even look at the chat. I don't even know what's going on, but I know that there's probably a lot of Pan-Africanists who are, castigating and cussing me out and all that stuff, right? But they ain't never been. They're going in on it. But look, they ain't never been there. You know what I mean? They never lived there. But all these people who disagree with me in the chat room, what I'm saying is that please go get a passport and don't just visit Africa, but live there full time and do at least 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do at least 5 years and then come back and holler at me.
Right. You say get malaria there and all of that. Go to the hospital, do all that shit.
Oh man, look, I got malaria twice a year. I was on my deathbed over there. Understand? So unless you get malaria, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? About Africa, yo. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that you got to live outside of the United States of America for some time and really be able to understand just how important you are as a Black American. Because when you leave the country, that's when you see just how huge Black American culture is worldwide, bro.
Right.
That's when you see just influential Black American culture is worldwide. All you gonna see is your music playing. You're gonna see people dressing like you. You're gonna see people talking like you. You're gonna see people swagged out like you. You know what I mean? Man, I mine for gold in the deepest, darkest forest regions of Ghana. I remember I was mining for gold in this one village called Domiabra, right? And at night, man, it had to be about 1 o'clock in the morning when we were done. And I was leaving to go to a roadside chop bar. And when I got to the roadside chop bar and I sat down to drink my Guinness, they was bumping Tupac on the radio.
Not Pac.
And it was bumping Pac heavy, right? And I'm just sitting here looking outside, and this is straight muddy, straight grass huts, real village, right?
Right.
And there were goats everywhere, chickens everywhere, naked kids running all over the place, and they bumping Tupac. And I'm like, I'm all the way over here in Africa, in the middle of the forest, and Black American culture reigns supreme. They hold swag from us, man. They wouldn't have. Look, I'm gonna be on record right now for all the Africans in the chat room. This message is for you. If you were African, you wouldn't even be cool without Black Americans. Let me say that again. If you were African, you wouldn't even be cool unless you adopted Black American culture. Because Black American culture is the basis of American pop culture. But then also, Black American culture is the basis of world pop culture. Everybody follows our lead. Black Americans are the drum majors of cultural change. Black American culture is the Silicon Valley of world pop culture. So everything that's new in pop culture, everything that's fresh in pop culture, everything that's innovative in pop culture is going to come from our community and nobody else. So if you listen to DeVito, if you listen to Tila Savage, if you listen to anybody, you're going to see elements of our aesthetic. And that is something that we should all be proud of. Black American culture is always changing. It's always overturning. Let me make something. Please listen to me, because I need to tell you this so that you and your followers can. The problem that people have with understanding Black American culture is that they always view Black American culture from the lens of African culture. So they say, well, you guys are descendants from Africa, so therefore you're supposed to have a naming ceremony. You're supposed to have a puberty ceremony. You're supposed to have a dowry ceremony. You're supposed to, do all these things that we do in Africa. You're supposed to, you're supposed to pour libation. You're supposed to do all these African things. You Black Americans, you don't do it, so therefore you don't have a culture, right? But see, the thing is that African culture is a culture that is deeply rooted in antiquity. When I say African culture, I'm talking about traditional African culture. It's deeply rooted in the past. So, O'Shea, when you meet an African who tells you that they're proud of their heritage, let's say they're Igbo, and I'm proud to be Igbo. The reason why that person is proud to be Igbo is because he is participating in a culture that his fathers have been doing for generations. You understand? Black American culture is the polar opposite of that. We don't want to hear music. We don't want to do dances. We don't want to wear clothes that was out last week.
That's true.
We're always changing. We're always evolving. We're always morphing, and we're always creating anew. So you can't put your finger on Black American culture and hold it down to anything. And that's why people get frustrated and say, oh, you have no culture. But we do have a culture. It's a culture of, it's a free-formed culture that's based on improvisation. It's jazz. You understand? Black American culture is a free-formed culture that is not bound by tradition. It's not bound by. Black American culture is not a culture where we have ancestors and elders who say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. Black American culture is a culture that is unchained from tradition. It is free to be able to evolve and to change and to morph and to just feel. So if you understand Black American culture from that aspect, then you will understand who you are as a people, and then you will become proud. Because not only is Black American culture a free-form culture that is based on improvisation, it is a culture that is designed to inspire everybody else in the world who are, how should I say, everybody else in the world, they are burdened by a culture that's based on tradition. It gets tired. They're eating the same old crackers every day with their tradition. They want to do something new. So when they look at Black Americans and we're always changing, they're like, man, look at those Black Americans. Look at the new dance they got. Look at the new clothing style they got. Look at the new way they're doing their things. That's why we're so special.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying, O'Shea, is celebrate the fact that you come from a culture of people who are always changing and always inspiring the world to push the envelope. Black American culture has its eye on the horizon. And the number one thing that we ask is what? We ask, what's next? What's next in music? What's next in sound? What's next in clothing? What's next in dance?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's next in colors? What's next in expression? Let's not stay in the past like
Mm-hmm.
Africans do. Let's innovate.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with coming from a culture of innovation? That's why I say Black American culture is the Silicon Valley of world pop culture. So if you are an African, I say God bless you, and I think it's great to be a part. Like for example, I lived among the Asante.
Mm-hmm.
In the Asante, they have a dance called the Adawa. And the Adawa, I can tell you the story about the Adawa, but the fact of the matter is the Adawa is a very, very important dance within Akan culture. And it's a dance that they've been doing forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It connects them to a specific historical event. And I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
But just because we don't have dances that we celebrate that connect us to an ancient historical event, that does not mean that we don't have culture.
Mm-hmm.
We are people who we're not built that way culturally and mentally to be able to hold on to those types of expressions. Our idea is to change, to morph, and to innovate over time. And I think that is a great, and then not only, and because of that, we do it better than anybody else in the world. And that's why everybody follows our lead. I think that that is something that you should be proud of. I think that that is something that all Black Americans should embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you should, because when you look out in the world and you see like in Korea, China, what do they have? What do they call it? K-pop or something?
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Cake pop or it don't matter where you looking, man. You see these Korean kids, these Asian kids, these Japanese kids doing rap and hip hop. Where else in the world do you see people following African? Look, if you were to stop 10 uh, Black Americans in the street and you ask them to name three of the top Nigerian artists,
They wouldn't know
uh,
for sure. No, nobody would know.
you feel me?
I didn't know until I went to my first concert was Iyanya, and I didn't know who he was. I had no idea who the nigga. I mean, DeVito. I just found out who he was. Um, even in Uganda where I'm at right now, somebody will the song come on and people will go crazy. I'm like, who is this? They're like, you don't know what this is? I'm like, no. So you absolutely. Let me just real quick though. Let me read some of the super chats real quick, guys. And thank you for the early birthday wishes. Well, technically, my birthday is today in Africa, but it's not. I'm still the same age in California. Let me shout out to some people, man. Nana Welbeck, Peace O'Shea. This is a hell of a video. Kari Asani, Africans as a group don't care about ADOS. Full circle, happy birthday. Thanks, my brother. Wayman Brown, thank you, brother. Deuce X Machine, happy birthday, brother. Get you an African midget stripper on me. You know I'm tricking. Mark Hills TV, my brother, 12,000 Colombian pesos. Yeah, man, I got to send you another email. David Johnson, it's goddamn extortion like I thought. He says again, no guns, no rights, no quality, no citizenship, no equality, no respect, no love. Now, who wants to go to Africa? Africans are basically trying to trick Americans to give up and leave the place we built to go there while they come here. It's all a hustle. Caramelized sugar.
Right.
Same when I went to CL last week. Gary Grant, I agree with the young man, except you are an American. Take the black out of it. It is not bad to be a nationalist. Be proud of where you come from. Shout out to Uncle Crazy Gary, man. Let me ask you this then. This whole push to go to Africa. I mean, obviously you were there. You did well there for some time. Do you think there's any opportunities for African Americans to do things in Africa and at all, because you went there and certainly you did it. Do you think there's any positive experiences that African Americans can do in Africa? um is there any way to build a diaspora or to do things?
without a doubt, 100%, yo. You know what I mean? Look, if you are an entrepreneur, right?
Mhm.
If you are Spartan and you want to actually do business in West Africa or Africa, anywhere on the continent, go.
Mhm.
Look, I'm going back. Don't get it twisted. I'm going back to do business. But see, the thing is that this is the one thing that people need to understand. What I'm saying is that when I go back to do business in Africa, I'm not changing my identity to do so.
Mhm.
O'Shea, you don't have to change your damn identity to do business in Africa. Go do business in Africa as a
Mhm.
Black American. Keep your name, O'Shea Duke Jackson from Sacramento,
Mhm.
California. You know what I mean? Tell them that you from Beulah Baptist Church. You know what I mean? You grew up listening to Slick Rick and whatever you know. Damn NWA. What I'm saying is maintain your identity because your power, right, is in who you are. Your power and your is in your truth. If you go to West Africa with this idea that, oh, now I'm home and now I'm going to change my name and now I'm going to change my tribe and now I'm going to change my clothing and now I'm just going to totally switch up like Amin Ra does, then what ends up happening is you lose all of your power because you swag jacket on someone else's culture. Remain who you are.
Mhm.
Because when I go to West Africa, I go there as Kobie. You know, I rock my Black American hat. And when people see me as a Black American, they love me and they put me on the look. There's not a single African in the chat room right now who will tell you that they want Black Americans to change who they are and become African. Like, do you know like how embarrassing it is, man? I've been in a lot of meetings with Black Americans who go back to
Mhm.
Africa, right? And then when they meet Africans, they start off with this pitiful type of narrative. I'm back home now. You know, I was a slave in America, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I am. I didn't have no culture, but now I'm back home, and now my name is Nana Kweku Bonsu, and I've returned to my now I wanna be installed as the Nkoso of your local village. So you know, can please accept me? Please accept me into your tribe. Please accept me into your tribe. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I sat up here and I've watched that so many times. Like Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh my
But
God.
so, but then half the times, see, what you don't understand is that Africans, by and large, they don't know a lot about the history of the Black American experience.
Mhm.
And that's what a lot of your viewers, the Hoteps, your Hotep viewers who never been to Africa before, that's what they don't understand. Africans don't even know about slavery. Many of them don't.
Yeah, that's true.
My wife is an look. My wife is an African dog. I asked her, "Have you ever heard of Martin Luther King before?"
And she
Nope.
from Liberia, which is crazy, where African Americans actually ran the country.
Bruh, she don't know Dr. Martin Luther King. She don't know. She ain't never seen The Color Purple. She ain't never heard Malcolm X. She don't know a damn thing about Black America. Have you ever heard of Jim Crow? No. Do you know what HBCU is? No.
Mhm.
Do you know what R&B is? No. Like so what I'm telling you is that they just don't know. They know a lot of, Black Americans we have a big microphone.
Mhm.
So it's just like, everybody knows our culture worldwide, but they don't know the the grit of who we are. They just see us as stars. They just see us as on top of the world, right? So when we go to Africa and you go there with that sorry, lost puppy dog narrative, talking about you don't know who you are and
Mhm.
you lost, you don't have a culture and you don't have an identity. Man, do you know how pitiful that sounds, O'Shea?
Mhm. Sounds bad.
It sounds horrible. So what I'm saying is, yo, man, stop this ignorant narrative about you don't know who you are, you don't have a culture, you don't have a heritage, you don't have a land. Brother, you are an American. Stand on your square. You are a Black American. Stand on your square and be proud of that. Look, it hasn't been easy for us in the United States of America. But do you think it's been easy for Africans? You can get a Nigerian cat, right? And these, look, the the politicians in Nigeria, they robbing their people blind.
Oh yeah.
Keeping everybody poor. But then these same Nigerians will leave Nigeria and then they will come back to the United States, and what they do, they'll wave their flag in your face. I'm Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian, I'm so proud to be Nigerian. Your government doing you dirty.
Exactly.
So why are you proud? My government did me dirty, but I can't be proud. So I just don't understand why there's this hypocrisy. I don't understand why there's this double standard. Why can't I be proud of the blood sacrifice of my ancestors to build the United States of America, the richest and the most powerful nation in the world, but an African can be proud of their nation?
Well, and that's
when their government
they get mad too when African Americans start to really want to have an eye, because they've already always say, most Africans, you know, I'm Ghanaian American, I'm Nigerian, don't call me African American or Black American. But as soon as you start to push up rank on you being proud of who you are, they get very offended and they get very scared, and they make pejorative comments when the Black American machine starts you know, putting these things together. The fear that these people have, man, is interesting. They start to get very offended.
Look, let me tell you something. Everybody that's watching, I'm gonna plug the company again. Y'all go to blackAmerican.com, right? Go get you some merch, right? Check out the videos. We got some cool stuff on there. I got one of the videos on my website at blackAmerican.com that kind of explains who we are as a people. It's a 2-minute video. Y'all watch that, right? Man, if you wear this hat that says Black American, right? If you wear this shirt, right, that says Black American, it scares people, man, because they like, oh, look, they love when you call yourself African. They love it. They love it when you say you lost. They love it when you say you don't have no identity. They love it when you try to swag jack their culture. You want to know why? Because they know that you ain't never, ever, ever going to be fully accepted as a full-fledged member of their tribe. So you wasted your time. But if you maintain your identity as an American, then that's where all your power is. And see, now you become a threat, because if you say, look, I'm an American and I'm from Sacramento and this is my land, so I want to protect my community. I don't want nobody coming. Where you from, El Paso Heights?
Del Paso Heights.
Del Paso. I don't want nobody but Black Americans doing business in Del Paso Heights. That's a problem. I don't want nobody but Black Americans running for office in Del Paso Heights. That's a problem, right? I don't want nobody, you know, doing anything, making money in Del Paso Heights unless they're Black Americans. And if all Black Americans get on board with that philosophy, then that's when people start shaking. That's when not only African immigrants, I'm talking about all immigrants. But the reason why, look, the Immigration Act was signed into law in 1965. That wasn't by accident, because it was in 1965 when we received our freedom, O'Shea. So immediately when we received our freedom and started getting civil rights laws that we fought and we died for, America answered that by hitting us over the head with the Immigration Act. So what the United States of America did was they opened the floodgates of immigrants to come to this country so that they can fill in as a buffer class between Black Americans and white folks. And so what ends up happening is we stay at the bottom, and you always have an immigrant class who's going to be in the middle providing services to us. But we shouldn't complain about it, O'Shea. Why? Because we ain't Americans anyway, right? There's a tremendous amount of danger by not calling yourself a Black American. If you don't consider yourself to be an American in general, but a Black American in particular, then you are doing a tremendous amount of damage to your tribe, because you are leaving the gate wide open for immigrants to come and take your land, to take your jobs, to take your opportunities. Because see, you don't care. You want to be in Africa. And so this whole ideology of saying that, oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, my land is in Israel. Oh, well, I'm a Moor, my land is whoop de whoop, or, I did my DNA test, so I'm an Igbo. I'm gonna be like Oprah Winfrey. I'm gonna take $23 million in cash and go build a school in South Africa. You weaken yourself as a people.
Mm-hmm.
Because tell me the number of Africans who've actually invested in the Black American community.
Probably not many at all.
What can you recall any Africans, any Native African billionaires who dropped $23 million on Black Americans?
Never, and they never will.
But we do that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you a proverb in Chi, right? I'm gonna teach you your first Ghanaian proverb, right? So all the Ghanaians in the room, they're gonna know this proverb. And one of the things that's interesting about the Tree language of Ghana, West Africa, is that it's a very rich in metaphors. It's very rich in idioms and proverbs, right? So that's why it's kind of hard to understand the language if you don't know the backstory of the culture. But they have a proverb that says, "Amobu baby say, ensako na ensaba." What that means is this: hand go, hand come. Hand go, hand come. Ensako na ensaba. In America, we would say, "You scratch my back, I scratch your back." Mm-hmm. Chris Tucker would say, "Same time, man, same time." Feel me? So at the end of the day, the way Black Americans should respond to Africa is, we're going to treat them the exact same way they treat us. Simple. I'm going to do to you what you do to me. So if I go to Africa and I can't travel, you can't travel. Mm-hmm. If I go to Africa and I can't set up a business, it's going to cost me $500,000. It's going to cost you $500,000. If I go to Africa and I can't get citizenship, you can't get citizenship. If I go to Africa and I get citizenship, but I can't run for public office, you can't run for public office. Same time. And so we have to have this mentality where we stop being beggars and we get strong within our Black American culture, our Black American ideology, and we stand on our square and we fight for what we have right here in this country. And we have to use America as a power base of economics. Because again, if we can't be successful in America, we can't be successful anywhere.
That's true.
You don't have to go all the way. You don't have to go all the way to Domi Abra and live in a village and create a business. Man, you can go to Biloxi, Mississippi, bro. You want to live in the country? I'm in Alabama right now. My folks are from Bowler G, Alabama, man. They ain't nothing but about 20 people down there. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to go to Africa. Go to Bowler.
Yeah, especially in the South, Mississippi and them places like that.
You ain't got to come back home. Come back to the South, because the South is the traditional homeland of Black American people in the first place. So look, you ain't got to go all the way to West Africa and go live in their bush. Come and live in our bush and build a community right there. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to get access to running water, lights. There are things, police. You're going to be able to build things in remote locations in the deep South, where you know that you can build it and you can have it on your own. And you can fly your American flag underneath your town, and you can be protected right here in your own country. But you telling me you're going to leave the United States and go all the way to a village in Nigeria and create a business? And that's what living is all about? O'Shea, I dare you to get sick over there. Really
You there? Am I freezing or is he freezing? Hold on a second. Hey guys, can you hear me? All right, let me do this while he's coming back. Did he freeze? Am I froze? He froze. All right, let me shout out to John Craig, brother John Craig.
I'm here.
You there, brother?
You got me?
All right. Yeah, you use freeze. Hold on a second. Let me read this up. John Craig, military guy here, have traveled abroad, and most Africans I encounter think we are lazy and lost because most speak 3 to 5 languages. Because they have to. David Johnson, O'Shea, you're the man for these. Show about Black Americans how they really feel about us. Thank you, brother David Johnson. What were you saying? Say it again, brother Kobie.
Let me say this one thing to you. I hate the comparison between Black Americans and Native Africans, and particularly Native African immigrants that are in the United States of America. Listen, there was a Pew Research report, right, that stated that 60% of
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you switched. Okay, you're on your phone now, huh?
No, I'm on the computer still. It's raining outside.
Okay, white man holding you back.
Yeah, white man holding me back, man. So, he controls the rain and everything. So, but basically, there was a Pew Research report that stated that 60% of all Nigerian immigrants that come to the United States already have advanced degrees, bachelor's degrees and advanced degrees, right?
Right.
So when you compare those immigrants that come to the United States with such high educational achievement, you can't compare them to a native population, because Black Americans are a native population. And just like any native population all over the world, you're going to have the majority of people who don't have college degrees, and then you're going to have that small percentage of people who do. Look, in the United States of America alone, only 30-some-odd% of Americans, Black or white, have college degrees. 30. I think it's no higher than 35% of Americans, period, have college degrees. So when you compare, America is pretty much run by high school graduates, Daddy-O. And that's just real talk. So if you're going to, so how can you possibly compare immigrant groups who come over here and 60% of them have college degrees to a majority population who only 30% of them do have college degrees? And then on top of that, the motivations. Now, this is very important. The motivations of immigrants to the United States is completely, totally different from the motivation of the native population. I got friends who graduated from high school, and as soon as they graduated from high school, they went to work for the post office. And they got cribs, and they living a great life. They're going to the Essence Festival, they're going to parties, they're having a good time. You know what I mean? That person who's been working at the post office for the last 20 years, why is that person lazy compared to the African immigrant who came over here and went to Harvard business? It's two different motivations. When I was in Ghana, it's no different. There was a ton of Ghanaians who were illiterate. Illiteracy is all over Ghana. Impoverished, with no jobs, and it's only the 1% that was running the nation. And then when you look at the Black American immigrants in Ghana, and I think there's like 5,000 Black American immigrants in Ghana, they have more education than all the damn population.
They do much better for the most part.
You know what I'm saying? Black Americans who go to Africa are going to do. Look at Liberia as a perfect example. When Black Americans went to Liberia, we founded the whole damn nation and built the country. So you can't sit up here and say Black and lazy. When Black and then those Black Americo-Liberians, when they went to Liberia, they were a part of the elite. See, Africans, they love using that word slave, right? And when they use that word slave, they discount us with the word slave. They make it seem as though we're nothing. You know what I mean? But what they don't understand is those called slaves were very skilled people. They were master craftsmen. They were master, wood fabricators. They were master builders. They were master farmers, because that's all they did their whole life. So when they went to an African nation, boom, they can build it in no time. And so these Black Americans who go to Africa today, They're going to be very skilled, very intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why if you go to Ghana, if you go to the African American Association of Ghana today, you're going to see a lot of very skilled people there. So if you want to sit up here and beat us, the native population, the native Black American population, with a stick, if you want to beat us with a stick and compare us to the African population who are doing well, then I'm going to go to Ghana and beat the native population over there with a stick too, and compare them to the Black American immigrants who go over there and do well. Mm-hmm. It's comparing apples to oranges. Right. You can't compare the two.
Let me just also say this. And I made a video about this because I was taking chemistry with somebody, and this person was doing extremely well. Shout out to the people. If you take general chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. Right. I was taking like the second general chemistry too. And this person was like, and the class was hard. And I mean, you know, such classes, you may have a curve, and the curve is like, you know, 60%. This person was extremely getting 100, like 90%, you know, on exams, 95%. It was way farther than we were getting.
Right.
And so we have a conversation with this person, and I'm like, well, damn, bro, like, how, like, I need to study with you. How are you figuring this shit out? My brother, in my country, I have a master's in chemistry. So, I mean, if you think about it, now he was poor though, right? He was a guy that was maybe waiting tables at Denny's or something like that. But in his country, he already had like a bachelor's or a master's in chemistry or something like that. So even though he's poor, and this is what I'm trying to tell people all the time, a lot of people that come over here, okay, maybe their degrees aren't accredited. All they do is go right back to the college system. They start over again. That you never forget those skill sets. It's just like almost like me. Okay, if I had to go to the University of McCary Medical School right now, I had to start from scratch. Almost certainly, I would get the highest scores in the class. It would be ridiculous because I've already did the work already. And the thing also is, a lot of people have skills in business or skills in merchandise and skills in certain things like that. A lot of Africans that come to America, matter of fact, you can't even really come to America without having some kind of talent. Even if you are poor and you are smart, you can eventually, if you have talent and skill, even if you don't have money, eventually you're going to make it.
Right.
Long as your health ain't fucked up. And I think what happens is a lot of African or Caribbean immigrants, they want to make themselves seem like they're a different breed of human or something like that. No, because I can tell you right now that if 70 or 60% of the people here that have those kind of values, even if they're poor, because they always start this off. Oh, my father was poor when he came over here. My father wasn't, but don't ask him if they was poor. What did he have when he came here? Oh, he was a bachelor's in chemical engineering. My mom was a mathematician, but she was poor. That's not telling me much. Okay, so they were poor, but they still had some really, really good skill sets here that took what? I mean, they can get back into the education system. They're back on track. You understand what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
You know what that's like? That's like saying 90% of Black of the Morehouse, because I went to Morehouse, so 90% of the Morehouse students can't get jobs. 90% of Spelman graduates can't get jobs. 90% of Meharry medical students can't get jobs. All the HBCUs, Howard, Tuskegee, Fisk, we can't get jobs. So all these doctors and lawyers, leave and they go to damn Kenya. What do you think is going to happen? We're going to run circles around them Kenyans.
Right.
When you take, a highly educated population of people, Black Americans from the United States who already got skills, and you take them to Africa, man, stop.
Yeah,
stop playing games. Stop playing games. It's over with. And then we're going to get there and we're going to be poor. We're going to be taxi drivers. We're going to be hustling. But then over time, when we apply to these African schools, we're going to excel. And then we're going to be on top. And then we're going to say, oh, y'all just lazy. We already came from elite backgrounds in the United States of America.
Right.
We already had connections and we already had, that training in the US. And so when you compare us to the native population in Kenya, Come on, bro. There is no competition. Look, all the people in the chat need to understand this. Every nation of people has their elites. Everybody has their elite class, their middle class, and their lower class. The Black American population is no different.
Mhm.
We have elite Black Americans, we have middle class Black Americans, and then we have lower class Black Americans. Just like in Africa, any African country, you pick one, choose one, you're going to have elite Africans, middle class, and then lower class. For the most part, in Africa, it's just the 1% and then everybody else. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So what I'm saying is that if you take an elite group of people from Africa and you bring them to America, they're going to do what they were destined to do anyway. It's no surprise. And if you take an elite group of Black Americans from the United States and you take them to anywhere in Africa, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. There's a great documentary on South Africa on Black Americans. I think it's called I don't know, I forgot the name of it, like Black Americans Without Borders or African Americans Without Borders. And it chronicles the life of Black Americans who are in South Africa.
Right after apartheid, right? They came there.
Yeah.
They're doing very good also.
Have you seen that, man? It's crazy.
I read articles about it, but I know that they have servants and maids and drivers and all type of shit like that. And the South Africans actually got kind of mad about it, but
yeah, just like when we're done with the show, just type in like African Americans Without Borders, South Africa, right? And then when you type that in, just watch that documentary and look at how these Black Americans are balling in South Africa. And one thing that you're going to see is that they're all educated. They all have skills. They are exactly the carbon copy of a Nigerian who would come to the United States and excel. So what are you going to say about those Black Americans? So those Black Americans who are in South Africa who are balling, they can sit up here and ridicule the South African population and say, oh, y'all are just lazy. Oh, y'all are just ignorant. Y'all just the akatas. Y'all just don't, y'all are the kafas. Y'all don't care. Look, man, those Black Americans already had skills. They went to Africa and then South Africa, and then they excelled. All immigrant groups, regardless of your race, where you come from, you're going to succeed for the most part, wherever you go in the world, because you already are empowered that way. You already have that mentality. The immigrant mindset is a powerful mindset. Period.
That's true. Mindset. That's true, because when I went to Poland, I'm like, yo, I gotta hustle every day, and I could tell you that is true. When you get out your comfort zone, it's like sink or swim. And I mean, I'm in Uganda every day, where a motherfucker just clap you right the head and take your phone or whatever, and you have to be on the lookout all the time. And I can say this, right? Because I looked at for example, whatever I made last year, and I put it up in where do I rank amongst Americans. And then you bring somebody with, like, let's say my certain skill sets of what I'm doing, and you drop them somebody like me in Uganda with the network that you already have in America. It's not even fair. I mean, it's really not. It's not fair to the. It's really like you are just. I mean, do you know what it's like for some people do not even know what it's like to have a white person ever clean your house. But let me tell you, you haven't lived. All right. Till you have white folks clean the shit stains off the toilet bowl, and they have to do it. Like, this is what they have to do. I mean, and that's crazy to be in Poland, and that whenever you go to the mall, you can buy anything that you want. When you're in Africa, you can have 15 wives if you wanted to do that. You know what I mean? Right. I'm just being honest, man. It's you have to really pinch yourself, like, is this white mom? If my godmother can wake up out of the grave right now, she wouldn't even believe it. She'd be like, nigga, stop playing with me. But it's crazy, because when you drop yourself off in a place like Poland or Africa or Ukraine, like, you have so many advantages over the local population. It's not even funny, especially if you have the access to the US dollars, and it's not even fair. It's not fair.
Now you brought in US dollar. Now you brought in your US passport. So when you're American and you traveling abroad, like, you feel your advantage. You feel your advantage. Like, you feel it, you know what I'm saying, in your bones. And so it's like, look, I'm a perfect example. I'm a Black American, born and raised. When I went to West Africa, I didn't have a lot of money, but I built $1 million business and I made $100,000 a year, and I built a crib. I bought land. So what I'm saying is, I got friends there right now. I got peoples over there, Daddy-O, who, it takes people 15 to 20 years to build a house in West Africa. Like, all you see is that these houses, the foundations have been, and it takes them 5 years to build, right? And then maybe they finish building the foundation, and then grass grow all over it, and then they finally build the walls. And then another 5 years pass, and then they can build a roof. And then another 5 years pass, and then maybe they could paint. And then what they'll do is they'll fix up just one room in the house. Just one room in the house. And they'll live in that one room, but the other part of the house won't really be finished. So it'll take, I built my house in 6 months, $85,000.
Damn.
People, it's the fastest construction that anybody has seen in that community. Whoosh, because the money was there.
Right.
So how was I able to do that as a Black American when the locals weren't? Were they lazy?
No.
Are they just a contest? Are they just kafirs? You know what I mean? I can sit up there and I can beat them over the head with the same insults that the African immigrants beat our native population over the head with as well. I can do tit for tat. That's why, like, if you're an African, so you can't talk to. The only way that Africans can sit up here and make a Black American feel bad is if a Black American hasn't traveled. See, these Black Americans in the United States, they hadn't traveled. They don't have passports. So when the Africans say that they're katas or they're lazy or they don't know who they are, they feel bad. Oh, you're right. I don't know who I am. I guess you're right. I guess I don't have culture, do I? I guess you're right. I guess I don't have an identity, right? Right. I guess you're right. Well, it ain't. And then you know what they'll say? They'll say, well, it ain't my fault. We were sold into slavery. Maybe if I can just go back, I can just be who I am again. So it just gets into that ridiculous conversation. But if you actually been there like you are, you get to see with your own eyes that, wait a minute now, our culture is global. Y'all niggas is swagging off of us. Y'all dressing like us. Y'all talking like us. Y'all get y'all cool from us. And on top of that, y'all want to be where we are right now. So if y'all want to be where we are, why am I trying to be like you? That's what your people in the chat room got to answer for me. I need to know. Look, I need to. I've had so many Africans tell me, Kobie, thank God for slavery. That's what they told me to my face. Thank God for slavery. And they would say, I know it was difficult for your ancestors, but look at you now. Look at you now, Kobie. You're on top of the world. They paid the price so that you could be where you are today. So you have to thank God for them. So I'm not going to sit up here and say thank God for slavery. I can't let that come out of my mouth. But I understand the sentiment of which these brothers were saying. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there's no culture in the world that is more culturally influential and more pervasive than Black American culture. If you are a Black American, then you are the shit worldwide, hands down. The biggest, the most popular artists in Nigeria don't have nearly even that much reach of global influence as your global pop culture leaders, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all those people. So why are you trying to be somebody else? Why are you trying to be a Hebrew? Why are you trying to be a Moor? Why are you trying to be a Native American? Why are you calling yourself an Egyptian? Well, we built the pyramids, brother. That's escapism. You're not proud about the country that you built. You're not proud about the blood that you spilled in the United States. So you're trying to attach yourself to some pride that happened in an African country. So O'Shea, check this out. Sometimes I'll look in the chat room and then I'll see people use the name of African leaders. They're Black Americans, right? But they use the name of African leaders like a female will use the name Nanaya Asantewa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would you as a Black American woman use the name Nanaya Asantewa as your handle, but you won't use the name Harriet Tubman? Because Harriet Tubman did the same thing for us in terms for fighting for our honor and our freedom that Nanaya Asantewa did for the Asante. But yet and still, you're going to sell out Harriet Tubman in exchange for Nanaya Asantewa? You're going to sell out soul food, O'Shea, for fufu? You're going to sell out earth, wind, and fire for Dr. Paul Bobo? You're gonna sell out Black American clothing for a kente cloth? No, be who you are. Stand on your square, because that's what your power is. So celebrate your people, celebrate your heritage, celebrate your culture, celebrate your unique influence on world pop culture, and be proud. Don't ever, ever, ever put yourself in a situation where you are abroad, O'Shea, because I'm talking to you directly. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you're abroad and then you're talking to an African and you say, I'm lost. Don't you ever say, I'm lost. I don't have a culture.
I will call the police on myself if you ever hear me say that.
Don't do that.
White man held me back, brother. If you ever hear me say I'm lost.
Yeah. If you meet an African over there and they say, who are you? Say, I'm a Black American. Oh no! You look like you can be Kikuyu, brother. No, I look like I can from Del Paso Heights in California. That's who I am, and I'm proud of it. Oh no! But your ancestors, yes, I know, but we are a new people with a new culture and a new identity. If you don't know who we are, go to BlackAmerican.com and then you will see. Oh, BlackAmerican.com, you say, oh, you sure you're not African? No, I am American.
You sound just like
Charlie, they talk the Chicasa. Mea Mikachi, ebia means me and Kachikasa, Emudo Akasa, but not so Mea Mikachi means a Wobetepa. Like I can talk their jive, yo. I can talk their jive, but you know, I mix it with that Black American slang. But you know, when I go to the club and I talk to the girls, you know, I don't be like, hey, or am I about your who didn't they say about your mommy will number me feel with you, you know, I don't do that. I be like, yo, baby, what's good? You know what I'm saying? I'm Kobie. I'm from LA. I ain't even from LA. I'm from Alabama, but I just dropped LA because I know they know the major city. I'm saying, you know, I can take you with me. So, you know, let's roll. I put my Black American hat on and then, boom, you know, I got her. But you're not gonna get her, O'Shea, because you're gonna go to look. I'm gonna go to the club with you, right? Me and you, we're gonna hook up in Africa, right? You go to and me and you, we're gonna hook up in Ghana. And so when we go to the club in Ghana, you wear your dashiki, and I'm gonna wear Black American clothing. You go with the name Nana Kwesi Dunkwao. And say you from Dome Abra, right? I'm gonna go with Kobie Smith, and I'm gonna say I'm from Chicago, and let's see who gets more girls.
I'm gonna say I'm Woody Maya Jr.
Look, dog, I can look, man. If you say you Woody Maya, man, you ain't gonna get nothing. I'm gonna tell him I'm from New Orleans, man. Anything, man. All I'm saying is Black American culture, man, is gonna be what gets you in the door. African, look, man, all the people in the chat, I can't even see y'all. But all you Black Americans who are mad, all you Black Americans who hate me right now, all you Black Americans who are protesting and saying whatever, I have to look back at it later on. Africans love you just the way you are. Mm-hmm. If you haven't heard anything that I said this whole time, trust me when I tell you that Africans don't want you to be African. Africans don't want you to change. Mm-hmm. Africans don't want you trying to be African, quote unquote. They love you just the way you are. It's you who don't love who you are, and you confuse them when you switch up your style. So maintain your identity. Maintain your love for your country and for your people. And as long as you do that, you'll be able to go to Africa and negotiate from a position of power and authority. But if you go to Africa as an African, then you lose your grip on power, because now you are you give them power and authority over you, because you will never truly be them. And those are just facts. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I had to go use the restroom, my brother. Hold on, actually, let me go ahead, keep talking, brother.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about this topic, O'Shea. And the reason why I'm passionate about this topic is because within the Black American community, there's a tremendous amount of low self-esteem. And not only is there a tremendous amount of low self-esteem, but there is a brokenness within Black American peoples where it creates a crisis of identity. So we have a crisis of identity within our community, to where there's all these splinter groups that are being created of Black Americans who say, well, I'm Nigerian, or I'm Igbo, or I'm Timne, or I'm Native American, or I'm a Santi, or I'm an Egyptian, or I'm a Moor, or I'm a Hebrew Israelite. And everybody's fighting amongst each other about these whole identities, but none of that is true. The reality is that you're an American. Full stop. For better or for worse, your Black behind is an American. You have a blue passport. All your rights, all your benefits, all the privileges that you enjoy are in the United States of America. No one said that it was going to be easy. No one said that you was just going to get everything on a silver plate. And we definitely are deserving of a lot more. And we're going to get it. But you're not going to get it by giving up and trying to swag your African culture to feel better about yourself, and putting on the aesthetic of an African. Because the only thing you're going to do when you go to Africa is become a second-class citizen over there. Let me repeat that. You're going to leave the United States of America, and you're going to become a second-class citizen over there, with no right to own land, no right to vote, no right to run for office, no right to be a police officer, no right to have freedom of speech, no right to travel, no right to open a business without paying an arm and a leg. You're going to be hit with so much red tape.
Yeah. It's even hard to get a bank account. It's even easier to get a bank account in Poland than it is to get a bank account in Africa. For sure.
Exactly. Without a doubt. And then here's the thing. Everything that you're going to do in Africa, you're going to have to be able to do bribes in order to get it.
Oh, yes. Talk about that. Please talk about that.
Not to hit on your boy Dinas Tamir, but your boy Dinas Tamir went over there to Nigeria, right? And has Dinas Tamir ever lived in Nigeria?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
But he's a full citizen. So how did Dinas Amir become a full citizen of Nigeria without having ever lived in the country? And when you go to the Nigerian Immigration Department website and you look at the criteria, it specifically says that you have to live in Nigeria for X amount of time and then apply. You got to prove that you intend to live there and all that stuff. But he didn't do that. You know what he did? And this ain't the hate on Dinas, but he paid bribes. He got the inside scoop. He became a chief. He became a royal. And then boom, they got him in. He had some people talk for him. So, but what I'm saying is you can't become Africanized to the standpoint that you use bribery to make your way through Africa. It's gonna hurt you.
And if he didn't bribe, he knew somebody else who did it. So I mean, it's the same concept.
Yeah, the same concept. So if these West African nations were committed to providing Black Americans with citizenship, then there would be something tangible in their laws to state that all Black Americans, descendants of American chattel slavery, will have this path to citizenship, period. It wouldn't be something that, oh, you can finagle your way through whoop-de-whoop. No. So that's why I'm saying, man, look, there are no tangibles in Africa, O'Shea, for Black Americans. All there is red tape, period. And I challenge anybody to prove me wrong. And you don't have a single person in your chat room, you don't have a single person who's listening or who's going to listen to this show who's going to prove me wrong and say, well, the tangibles are here. There ain't no tangibles. Because when you're in Africa, you're going to be treated just like a white man. That's why in Ghana, they call you Obruni. Obruni means white man. They ain't never going to see you as African. So
let me even say this. Even let me throw this in there. Even you brothers who are from, and I'm gonna say this, right? If you're from the Caribbean, right? If you from Nigeria and you from Ghana, nigga, let you grow up in the Canada or the United States. Both your parents Ghanaian, you Kenyan, you go back to Kenya, nigga, you just as bad as us. They don't fuck with you either.
No, they call him a Bruni too.
Yeah, they call him the same thing.
Yeah, they in Liberia they call him Pumui. So it's like if you are African, you're first, second generation African, Ghanaian, for example. You live in the United States. If you go back to Ghana, if you don't understand that, Obruni.
Them niggas become us and don't want to be mad. Go ahead, old niggas. It's too late.
You know, I've met Ghanaians. I've met Ghanaians in the United States, and I meet them, and then I introduce myself in Tree, and then they're confused and looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, those cats would be marks as soon as they get to Ghana. If you can't say, oh, I want to go to Osu, how much is the price? You know what I mean? If you can't do that, you're in trouble. So all I'm saying is, man, look, again, America is our power base. America is the richest, most powerful nation in the world. America is in Tree. The word for inheritance is ejapadie. It's ejapadie. Ejapadie means a father's good thing. So America is our ejapadie. It is what our fathers have passed down to us because they paid for it in blood. So everybody should be inspired to make sure that they own and they control that ejapadie right here in the United States of America, and they control their neighborhoods. They control their block. You know what I mean? You control your culture. And, you know, it's the responsibility. The reason why, you know, I told you before we went on the show that there was a Jewish guy who owned blackamerican.com. And I spent $11,000 just to buy that domain because I believe in my heart of hearts that it's necessary for all cultures around the world to be able to own their identity, to be able to own and be able to create their own narrative with regards to who they are and how they are represented in mass media. So I was willing to put up that type of money in order to be able to say, this is who we are as a people. And I'm going to control that, and nobody else outside of our country is going to do that. So all the Black Americans who are in the chat and who hear this broadcast, they should also be inspired to be able to do that within their own sphere. In your community in Del Paso Heights or in everybody else, what is your sphere of influence? And make sure that Black Americans are running that. If you're in school, whatever your department is, if you are a hiring manager, you know, make sure that Black Americans get that job before anybody else. You know, if you got cribs and you are renting homes out, make sure Black Americans get them before anybody else. Whatever it is. Not that we can't have a cultural exchange with anybody else, because I definitely believe in having a cultural exchange. That has to happen. And we have to do business with other ethnic groups. But that business has to be done on an equal playing field where we negotiate from a position of strength, not weakness. O'Shea, when you go to Africa talking about, oh, I don't know who I am, or you're negotiating from a position of weakness. When you go to Africa and you say, oh, I have no identity, you have marked yourself as someone who's confused about who they are. But when you go there on your square and say, I'm an American, I'm a Black American, and I'm here to do business, then that is when people are going to stand up and respect you as a man. But if you sit up here, you know, like I'm in Ra, with all due respect, if you sit up here like even your boy Dynasty Amir, who is opting out of Black American identity and Black American culture in order to be a Nigerian. Hey, look, I sent you the email, right? Mm-hmm. I sent you that email with that website from that Nigerian company. NigerianistheNewCool.com, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so you'll see these Nigerians wearing shirts that got Nigerian on it. Mm-hmm. If you go to their Instagram page, you'll see all these Nigerians repping these shirts that got Nigerian on it. But Dynasty Amir, he would wear that. He would wear that shirt that got Nigerian.
Hold on a second. KC Onuyeweme, whatever your name is. Nigga, do not at me or orange me. I told your motherfucking ass not to do that shit. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. It's 388 people in this motherfucker. You can hit the super chat like everybody else. So you get your motherfucker. Stop breaking my goddamn rules. And the next time I'm gonna ban your bitch ass. Stop hitting me with the at symbol and trying to get my fucking attention. All right, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Get him, O'Shea. Get him, dog. Yeah, I love it.
Motherfucking niggas. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. But you know, it's like you got Black American cats who were born and raised in the United States of America who would take a DNA test and then rep Nigeria by putting on the Nigerian shirt. But then if I say, yo, rock a Black American shirt, they're like, oh no, we ain't got no culture. I'm not gonna do that. Man, we got to start standing up. We got to start being proud of who we are. Because when you stand up and you affirm your identity and you affirm in your mind who you are and that you're proud of who you are, then that is the basis. That's the very foundation of economic and financial empowerment, economic, financial, and political empowerment. Because you can't control economics in your community. You can't control finance and politics in your community if you haven't identified in your mind who you are. If you look, I'll give you a perfect example. You look at Ferguson, right? Missouri. Mm-hmm. Ferguson is a town that's 60% Black American. Mm-hmm. But before the riots and all that stuff happened in Ferguson, city council was 99% white. Police department, 99% white. Mayor's office, 100% white. School board, 100% white. The state prosecutor, white. Mm-hmm. So Black Americans in Ferguson outsourced the political power, the political infrastructure of their 60% community to white folks. Why did they do it? They're not American anyway, so it don't matter, right? Mm-hmm. They're not American, so I ain't gonna vote. They're not American, so I ain't gonna join the police department. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they ain't American, so they ain't gonna go to school and get law degrees, even though you're 60% of the population. But you're gonna outsource the runnings of the political infrastructure of your community to people outside of your community, and you expect them to treat you right? O'Shea, tell me a single city in the United States of America that's going to be 60% white, but Blacks run all the government.
Never, ever. That's a great point. Ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. Hold on one second. Let me shout out the super chat real quick. Shout out to Miss Parker Lynn. Been missing you, O'Shea. Miss hearing the shows. Thank you, lovely lady. You can also subscribe to my other channel, O'Shea Vlogcast. I'm on there every night. O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I do most of my live streams over there, so I know I'm not really as active over here. But let me just shout out some more people. And you got about 5 more minutes, brother?
Oh man, we can rock as long as you need. Let's go.
All right, Donnie Links, thank you, brother. JL King, Caribbean descendants of slaves in the house. #Cedos. Wrench Turner, a little something because this video is insightful, needs to be heard. Plus, I'm supporting the neck bone juice forum. and Hawaiian bread fun. All right, thank you so much. Sola Obotayo, black culture is dominant due to America's superpower status. I can tune about it. Thank you, brother. If you take the best black Americans anywhere, we would do extremely well. People love using lower level black Americans to pass judgment to the higher group. Black culture in America look down on educated blacks. They call them lame and corny. Most immigrants value education. Super Koju. Oprah didn't build a school in South Africa. She built an underage brothel for white traveling perverts. Wow. So, Obotayo, actually, man, even on this stream, what's he? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, a Nigerian donated more money than everybody else. We need to increase the black. What you say?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
We need to increase the black population in America so ADOs accept black immigrants. Yeah, that brother been going. Oh no, David. No, I'm sorry, David Johnson. Actually, oh nope. It's tied between David Johnson. Yeah. So he's tied up there. All right. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yo, man, let me address one of the comments that this brother said, because I've actually heard this false narrative before. One of the brothers said that the reason why Black American culture is so pervasive worldwide is because of the dominance of the white man's infrastructure, his mass media, whoop-de-whoop, right? Okay, if that's the case, America is a melting pot. America is full of immigrants, right? Of all kinds across the world. So can a Nigerian come to the United States with his traditional music and blow up as big as Michael Jackson?
No, impossible.
Come on, O'Shea. Listen to what the brother said.
Impossible.
Well, listen to what the brother said. What he said was that the reason why we are global is because of the white man's infrastructure. That being the case, why don't we get a pure African? Now, I'm talking about not their pop culture that's influenced by us. I'm talking about their shit that's theirs alone, right? That they created, their traditional music. Can they come over here with their traditional music, their traditional dress, their traditional dances, their traditional songs, their traditional everything, and get signed by Columbia Records and blow up as big as Michael Jackson and Beyonce and Jay-Z?
They can't even do that in their own countries. In they can't do that. It's impossible.
Exactly. So that statement that he made is absolutely hogwash. Black American culture is just better than everybody else. Everybody has their own thing, O'Shea. And you got to be in a situation where you just let people have their lane. Everybody got their lane. If Kenyans say, yo, we the best runners in the world, I'm not going to be like, well, Kenyans are the best runners in the world because their government, look, they just better. Let them have that. Mm-hmm. If Indians want to say, look, we the best computer technicians in the world, look, y'all just got it. Go ahead and just take it. You know what I mean? Black Americans have the best pop culture that the world has ever seen. We're the most innovative. We're the most artistic. We're the most influential culturally worldwide because our music, our dance, our swag is just better. Why can't it just be that way? Mm-hmm. Why does it have to be the government? And if you want to argue that it's the government or the white man's money and infrastructure, then you bring your African traditional music and you come over here and you try to duplicate a quarter of what we've done, and you won't be able to do it, period. Nobody wants to be like you. Like, see, when it comes to traditional African culture, traditional African culture is a private culture. It's theirs alone. Because only Igbos want to do what Igbos do.
That's true.
Only Yorubas do what look, only Igbos want to dress the way Igbos dress. Only Yorubas want to dress the way Yorubas dress. Only Asante dress the way Asante's dress. Only Kikuyu dress the way Kikuyu dress. But everybody wants to dress the way Black Americans dress. If we put our hat to the side, then the whole world gonna do it. If we turn our pants to the back like Crisscross did, everybody gonna do it. If we say it's lit, everybody gonna say it's lit. If we say
everybody do say it's lit now too.
That's what I'm saying. If we say it's on fleek, everybody's gonna say it's gonna fleek. You know what I mean? If we do the Dougie, everybody gonna do the Dougie. If we do the electric slide, everybody gonna do the electric slide. That's Black American culture. It's a pervasive culture that everyone benefits from and everybody partakes in, and then they take it as their own and then say we don't have any culture, but we're the originators of it. But by the time they take it, we've moved on and created something new. So, you know, Black American culture and African culture, they exist on polar opposites of one another. But neither one of these cultures are better or worse than the other because they both serve different purposes. If I were an Asante, knowing everything that I know about Asante culture, I would be very proud to be an Asante, knowing that I come from a culture where my fathers on before me participated in a particular lifestyle, and that I am continuing that lifestyle. So I would feel very grounded, and I would feel very proud to be a part of that. But at the same time, as a Black American culture doesn't operate that way. We don't look back to the past for a sense of pride. O'Shea, where do we look?
Say it again. Where do we look? To the future.
I say, yeah, exactly. We look to the future. So again, the question is, what's new? What's next in sound? What's new in dancing? What's new in music? What's new in culture that we can create? You know what I mean? So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being from a culture that's innovative? What's wrong with being from a culture that is that creates anew, and that borns anew, and that births anew every day? We are the only culture in the world that does that. Let me say this, and in the interest of full transparency, I would say that probably the most per capita, and for all the intelligent people in the chat that understands that word per capita, probably one of the most influential cultures in the world is Jamaican culture. Goddamn it, you know, because there's only like 4 million Jamaicans on that island, and look at the cultural contribution that they've given to the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like they got a bona fide pop culture that is global, yo. Like if you want to be a pop culture artist, you're gonna have to do dance hall, bro. Look, you're gonna have to do one of two things. You're gonna either have to attach yourself to Jamaican culture or Black American culture in order to pop worldwide, period. And so it's very impressive to look at Jamaican culture and to see what they've been able to do, considering the fact that there's such a small population of the Black diaspora, man. Like, whoa, brother, they put it in. They put it. Woo, they're putting in work. So, like, I congratulate them. Hats off to them. I salute those guys, and I give them everything. You know what I mean? But still, they don't have the global reach and the global impact that Black Americans have. So it's those two groups, Jamaicans and Black Americans, who run pop culture worldwide. Everybody else follows, period. So as a Black American, you should be proud. As a Black American, you should be proud of yourself and the cultural influence that you have with the world. You should be proud that everybody wants to be like you. Everybody wants to talk like you. Everybody wants to swag like you. So you should go to where, O'Shea? BlackAmerican.com, and you should get you a hat. You know what I'm saying? You should get you a shirt. You know what I'm saying? You should swag out on that, man. You know, you should be proud. Because these Nigerians, they go to Nigerian is the new cool, and then they rep their shirts. But you tell me you can't go to BlackAmerican.com and rep your shirt? Man, yes, you can. Be proud of that, and never, ever come out of your mouth again and say you an African. Never, ever come out of your mouth again and say that you Igbo because you took a DNA test. Man, look, you know, we gotta call on the blood of Jesus to break this spell of low self-esteem in the Black American community. We got to call on the blood of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, in order to break this spell of brokenness that's in Black Americans that make us relinquish our birthright. We cannot let our birthright go. Our birthright is the United States of America. For better or worse, you know, our ancestors died. They bled for this. you know, and it belongs to us. And let me say real quick, man, I don't know how much time you have, but I really want to say this. You know, when I lived among the Akan people, the Asante people, I really understood what tribe means. You know, I read this fascinating book called Asante Law and Constitution. And it was a book that was written that explained the origins of the Ashanti people, right? Long story short, the thing that the Asante people, and I hope that there's some Asante people in the chat room. You see, the Asante people, they used to be slaves. There was a time, there was no such thing as the Asante people before the year 1701. Before 1701, the people that we know today as Asante, they were a part of a loose confederation of tribes, right? Who were under the thumb of a larger, more powerful group called the Dintra. And the Dintra are the one who made slaves of these people. But one day they rose up and they decided that they didn't want to be slaves to the Dintra anymore. And so they formed a war bond amongst themselves. And they decided that they were going to fight and wrest themselves from the yoke of Dintra oppression. And they went to war under the leadership of a new king that they called Nana Ose Tutu I, who sits on the golden stool of the Asante, and also the leadership of a prophet that they call Akonfo Anochi. And so the point of the matter is that they went to war with the Dintra, and then they became free, and they became the Asante. They became a new people that we know today. And they are very proud of their history and their culture and their traditions. But they don't harp on the fact that in the past they used to be the water boys for the Dintra. They just focus on the fact that today they are free people and that they're on top. And so Black Americans are no different. We struggled, we went to war, we won our freedom, and look at us today. So this whole spirit of shame, this whole spirit of low self-esteem that Black Americans have is due to a false narrative that we follow. And that narrative is that if we are not African, then we are nobody. If we don't know our African selves, our African names, our African identities, then we don't know who we are. And my response to that is that we created a new culture in the United States of America that is just as good, if not better, than any culture that you can find in Africa. We created a new food that's just as good, if not better, than any culture, than any food in Africa. So I'm not going to throw my soul food away for any fufu, for any banku, for any tilapia, for any jar of rice that I can find in West Africa. No, I want soul food first. When I was in West Africa, man, I dreamed of eating soul food. I couldn't wait to come back home to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, so I could have some Dreamland barbecue. Feel me? There's no African leader like Nana Ose Tutu II who I would put above Martin Luther King Jr. I value my leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I value my food like soul food. I'm not going to put Nania Asantewa over Harriet Tubman. I'm not going to put the blood sacrifice over the 54th Massachusetts. You know, one of my favorite movies is Glory. You know, when they died and when they gave their blood, when they charged Fort Wagner, I'm not going to sit up here and put the Ashanti warriors over the Tuskegee Airmen. What are you talking about? So you're gonna tell me you're gonna sit up here and you're gonna heap your praises on the Ashanti warriors, but you're gonna forget about the Tuskegee Airmen? You're gonna heap your praises on Nania Asante War, but you're gonna forget about Harriet Tubman? You're gonna heap your praises on palm wine music, but you're gonna just forget about Earth, Wind, and Fire, Daddy-O? You're gonna forget about Al Green? Come on, bruh. You know what I mean? We got something groovy right here, man. And I just want you guys, look, if you're a Black American and you go to Africa, and again, O'Shea, this message is for you because you go to Africa a lot. One thing that I want you to start doing, O'Shea, when you go to Africa, is to have a cultural exchange with Africans that you meet. Again, inside Kona, inside Ba, hand go, hand come. So when they teach you about their food, you teach them about your food. When they teach you about their leaders, you teach them about your leaders. When they teach you about their language, look, man, you speak some of that yo daddy yo slang from Sacramento. When they show you your dances, you show them your dances, you know? And then when they show you their clothing, you show them your clothing at where? BlackAmerican.com.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So at the same time, you got to match them equally for everything that they show you, and never break and never put yourself in a situation where you feel like, oh, I have no culture, I have no identity, I have no homeland, I have no knowledge of who I am. So therefore, I have no agency, so let me just be who you are. That's a
Right.
false narrative. That's a
Right.
false narrative, brother. It makes me sad. It makes me sad to see that every time,
Mhm.
we got to stop that.
We got to stop that, brother. But look, let me do this real quick, man. It's 2:40 in the morning. I'm gonna do another. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I gotta go get something to eat, man. Kobie, brother, you really killed it. Shout out to BlackAmerican.com, man. Go. I'm gonna get a shirt. I gotta send it to America because I can't send it to Poland right now. So I'll send it to America. I get when I get back. But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, brother. You did a really good job. I love to get you on here with I got Amin Ra.
Man, look, hook it up, man. I'm look, man. You got to bring that brother Amin Ra on, and we're gonna go head to head, man. I want to be on the Sunday Rumble, man. I want to go after all these. Look, if you have any hoteps on the show, I'm the hotep.
Well,
I'm the
okay. Well, I'll tell you this. Do you know who Sonetter is?
Of course, I know Sonetter. Yeah.
So I talked to Sonetter today. Shout out to Sonetter. I have that African channel called Kinganda.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. What's my? Hold on. Somebody wants some. Y'all, do y'all know my PayPal is, Brother Dwayne? I don't know what it is. Hold on a second. But anyways, that's the reason why I came to Africa, because I actually started a channel based off of Uganda and Kenya, and I wanted to kind of get into the market and try to build a better relationship. So that way, if African Americans wanted to come to Africa, even though the market is not necessarily as good as the American market, that's my PayPal. I wanted to come here because I didn't want African Americans ever coming to Africa without having something on the ground, and that was one of the things. Oh, Dwayne Barnes, right there, brother. That's my PayPal. So that's one of the things I wanted to do, brother. I wanted to really, I like coming to Africa and stuff like that. So what was I saying before I got cut? What was I saying?
You was asking me if I knew who that brother was.
Yeah, Sonetter.
Sonetter, yeah.
So I shoot my show Kinganda for the Advise show, and we just aired an episode there today, our 5th episode, and then I'm now going to shoot an interview. I'm shooting one for Sonetter. So Sonetter is the king of the Hotep community. So I'm quite trying to call him. I said, listen, man, I got a brother for you over there named Kobie Smith. I'm sure he would love to bring you on his show. Man,
look, you gotta understand. You gotta understand who I am. I don't think you realize who you're talking to right now. I own BlackAmerican.com, brother. So you know what that makes me? That makes me the king Black American. You understand? I got an American flag. It's getting dark in here, so I got the American flag flying up. So I am the direct opposite of your brother Sonetter. I'm the Hotep killer. You understand? So you put me up with Hotep, with Sonetter. You put me up with your boy Amin Ra.
But Sonetter got all the people, man. He got the whole lineup, so he gonna have the dudes with the PhDs and all of that. Yeah, Sonetter he's action for you. So
it don't matter.
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna try to call him. I call him tomorrow. I'll talk to him about it. So shout out to Sonetter TV.
It don't matter, because you want to know. I'm gonna tell you real quick why it don't matter. Because the entire philosophy of Sonetter and all his followers is built in low self-esteem. They all running. They all running. And ain't none of them willing to go to Africa. Look, let me tell you, I'm gonna already tell you what I'm gonna ask Sonetta. Are you willing to go to Africa and give up your American citizenship? And because do you know, O'Shea, that right now you in Kenya, right? You can go to the US.
I was
okay,
in
okay, so you can go to the US embassy right now and you can renounce your American citizenship. You can do it.
I'm not gonna do that. No.
But these hoteps, they African, right? They supposed to just, so why don't you renounce? Because you know that when they talk about America, they call it America KKK. So if you hate America KKK so much, go to Africa, renounce your American citizenship at the US embassy, pay your fee, and then just swear. Just say, I, O'Shea Duke Jackson, no longer want to be an American citizen. I renounce. And then you'll leave the US embassy, and then you will no longer be an American citizen.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Who would do something like that? That is crazy. So, well, anyways, brother, thanks for coming on, man. Let me get up out of here. Anything else you want to tell the people before we go? Can you guys hear me? Oh, he must have froze. Peace out, everybody. I'm out.